it is dark outside and also dark in here because the light in the shade thingy is an energy saving light. So yes, it's a bit dark. I hope you can see me. Hello Furball, have you come to join in? Hello. Yes, Mummy loves you. But I thought, well actually I've been thinking about it all day, but because I've had support here I felt a bit awkward filming. So I thought I'd do it now. And what I want to talk about, yes, hello, you're a good boy, is how people, well, not all people, but most people, and specifically myself, organise their world around them that helps them also be able to still function, even with autism. So I thought I'd show you around my flat, which is a disaster at the moment because I live with this thing and he eats everything, and there's also blankets and all the rest of it. I apologise. And I would show you, give you an idea of what I use on a daily basis or a weekly basis to organise my world around me and how I manage the world around me. Now I'm not sure how this is going to come out because obviously this is a thing to me that I've never done. I've never picked up my laptop, which is what I use to film, and spun it round, so we're going to have to just take this step by step and see how it goes. But the first thing I use actually is right in my hand. Well, it isn't, it was right by me, is my phone. Because I use it every day. It's got my contact list in it, it's got a notepad in it, it's got, what else has it got on my phone that I use to organise? It's got my Let Me Talk app, which is a communication app. It's also got my Fitbit app on it, which I do wear a Fitbit. But obviously that's not to do with organising, that's more just to do with how I manage the way I look most of the time. And it's got a Kindle app, Days Until, which is a countdown app. And at the moment I think I'm counting down to... What am I counting down to? Daddy's birthday and my birthday, and then days until 2021, because let's be honest, 2020's been crap so far. And I also have something called Track It. I've forgotten what that does, to be fair, because I can't read what it says underneath it, but I've forgotten what that app does. I know it's not to do with periods, because I don't get those anymore. And I've also got, on my phone, I've got Samsung Notes, I've got Samsung Pay, Galaxy Store, I've got apps to do with Microsoft on there. So I use a lot of my apps I use to make lists, to make notes about what I need to remember, to count carbs or do math bits with in terms of food and dieting, etc. And to make a schedule or a list of what I need to do throughout the day. Because that's just how my brain works. I need schedules, I need lists, I can't cope without them. But that's when I'm out of the house, is when I mainly use my phone. When I'm in the house, if I can figure this out, I use this. This is something I got when I was just browsing on Amazon, really. You've got a chance to put your not date, month up the top. And then these little things, obviously, are for the days. And then you've got bullet pointy things, which I never use, apart from, I do use them, just not very often. It depends on what I'm doing during that day. And this side, I use for shopping, but I guess you could use it for just other random notes that you get throughout the day. Like, this was my shopping list today, which does actually need to be erased because I had to buy everything today. And then this didn't come with it, but for me, the T there means tea. So what I'm going to have for tea or dinner or whatever you want to call it. And as you can see, I've only really got a Friday planned. Because Sundays I go to my parents. So I don't really plan Sundays. Because it's just pointless. I have got that off Amazon. I don't really... A lot of my organisation stuff comes from Amazon actually, because It's cheap, it's quick, it doesn't require any thought. I don't have to sit there and go in queues and stress myself out, because we all know autism and queues and loads of people don't mix, especially at the moment. Pardon me while I sit down again. I also use, pretty standard and typical really, I think for most people, I use a diary. But this was never intended as a diary. It was just really, it was just an everyday lined notebook that, because I've tried normal planners, I've tried planners that you get at school that are academic ones, I've tried ones that have loads on a page, I've tried happy planners, I've tried planners that come with all these pretty stickers and all the rest of it, but they didn't work for me. They just stressed me out more and more because I wanted to cover everything in stickers. I wanted to make it pretty, but then I'd lose all the text, or I'd lose all the information on the page because I'd be looking at the pretty stuff all the time. So instead, actually it was about a year ago when I moved out and came here, I decided to make my own planner. And this is how I've done it ever since. It's just a lined notebook. Oh, hello, an appointment card just fell out of there. Literally just lined. And then on each day, I've put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that's Saturday and Sunday. And then I've just got a little section for notes, which I put in, that I don't actually use, come to think of it. Like, it is very rare that I use that page, that notes page, but then I also use this for other notes. Well, my support workers do, they all write in here. It's basically like a communication book for them, but also helps me keep on track with what I'm doing during the week. It also helps me figure out who I've got, because if you can't tell, my lovely support workers write in when I've got them and what times we've got them. So tomorrow I've got one of my support workers. I'm not going to mention names just for simplicity, and just for logic really, because she's got a private life as well. I've got a particular support worker 10 till 2, which is pretty standard for a Thursday, and I'm okay with that. I quite enjoy it. But also at the top of my diary, at certain weeks, I've put this one is a support worker's name, and then the fact that she vanishes. Vanishes is just she's on annual leave. It's just how my brain processes the world around it. And I've also got on the next week, she was only on annual leave for a week, was the fact that she reappears, that she's no longer vanished. We also put in appointments that I may have that week, so this is next week, and I've written in that the electricity person's coming between 12 and 2. Now, because all of my support workers read my diary, whoever I've got that week will know that that's happened. But they also have a folder in my house that has my support plan in it, that has my communication needs in it, that has drawings that I've done because I've got nowhere else to put them, and that has communication sheets and notes that support workers write out, which I have a choice. I can read those and I cannot read them. I don't like reading them, so I don't read them, but they also help everyone catch up to speed about what we've done during the day or during the week or whatever else. Like when a support worker comes back off annual leave, they'll probably next thing they'll do is read through those notes and just check that they haven't missed anything. I also use quite a few that are the same to organise myself. They're just different formats. I use Google Calendar. I use an ordinary calendar that is actually on my wall. Right there, yes, it's cats. And I also use a calendar on Google Calendar. I use my phone's calendar, which is very boring because it doesn't actually do anything. It's literally just named calendar. The only difference is with my calendar, are you going to focus? Are you going to be nice and focused today? Nope, you're not going to focus. That's just annoying. Is I can change the colour of like events, so I know when things are going to happen. And they also have a little green square on the day it's on, or the date it is, which is really helpful because in quarantine I had no idea what the date was. I use timers. They help me keep organised and keep thinking things through rather than sitting there and getting annoyed with myself, especially when it comes to cooking, because I get really easily distracted. And I also use, one of the most important things I use are visual schedules. Now, they are all over my house. I have done a full video on them, but I do use them every single day. I have very set ones for certain times of the day. Like my morning one and my bedtime one are very, very structured and very, very much there. No matter what kind of day it's been, I know I can rely on those, which is a big plus for someone like me who needs the ability to rely on something and needs structure and routine to function. My morning routine is pretty simple. I wake up, I say a prayer, I get dressed, I take the doggo out for a pee and whatever else he needs to do, come back upstairs, have a drink, usually tea, and then usually, most days, wait for my support worker to come, and that's usually just done under blankets with the TV or my laptop on YouTube, and obviously the dog, who keeps on making appearances whenever he can, because that's what my dog does. And then nighttime routine starts around 7 o'clock. I take my bedtime meds, I run a bath, I take my bath, I get dry, I put on lotions and jammies, I then take the dog out for a wee, which obviously I haven't done yet, but I am in my pyjamas. I am in a onesie that is I think a Mickey Mouse one. I might be wrong. Oh no, it is my Mickey Mouse one. And then take Jakey out, and then come back upstairs, let him do his final totter around while I get ready for the rest of my night, which is getting his dentistry, which is literally his toothbrush, I guess you could say, getting myself a drink, especially in England right now because it's friggin' hot. It is 23 degrees outside right now. It is boiling. It's nearly 10 at night, so I do not enjoy that right now. I don't like being overheated, so I always take a drink to bed with me, and then I will go to the bathroom, wash my hands and get into bed, watch something for about an hour and go to sleep with my audiobook on and a night light on, or several night lights because I don't like the dark. A lot of the time people will need to find what works for them with visual schedules. That's what I had to do, and I spent a lot of years trying to use visual schedules that school had created for me, or that social care had created for me, or Reigate had created for me, that did nothing because they just weren't personalised to me. Once I figured out, bearing in mind I think I was about 14 when I figured that out, that I like lists and I like things to be in a certain order, I started doing them myself. I started trying to manage the things in my head and the routines that I needed by myself. And that is realistically what got me through quite a lot of school, because even though at school and college and uni you have a timetable, you have a planner, there wasn't much structure unless you're in a lesson. So I had to sit there, and I, at the beginning of each term, went to each floor and just in my head designated a quiet space for myself during break times, that even if it was just the toilets or a certain room or a certain outsider room that I could go to just have some calm time where I wasn't going to be followed and I wasn't going to be overwhelmed. And then I would choose that, write that down in a special notebook I kept in my backpack. I would also make sure that I could get to each place on my own, so I didn't have to worry about asking people. That was when we got our planners though, and when we knew our timetables. And I would make sure to have a way of expressing my emotions and feelings during lessons, even if I couldn't leave to do it, which is where having my own special notebook came in handy, because no one else saw it, no one else knew it existed, no one else could read it because I used a code. And actually it was really helpful, because it meant when I was getting bullied or upset, I could hide that and I could put it inside a book and just shut it for the day until it got to lunchtime, and I'd check over it and see what happened in the previous lesson or whatever. You have to bear in mind that I didn't have Jake at this point, but I was in secondary school. And because I'm autistic, and a whole heap of other ones, I will do a more detailed video on my conditions very soon. I adapted visual schedules and social stories and all the rest of it to myself. And because everyone is unique, there needs to be a way for everyone to organise and adapt that individual's schedules, ways of thinking, and things they need to function without destroying the person themselves. People need to remember that regardless of who uses the schedule or whoever uses things to help them through their daily life, it's still going to be different, it's still going to be unique, and what you do with one person might not necessarily work with another. So if anything that you take away from this video today is things that might help the person you're caring for or yourself, that's fine. But if you also come away with a little bit more understanding of visual schedules, a little bit more understanding of what I do on my daily basis to help myself through my day, I'm grateful for it. And I'm grateful that you click on them. And I'm apologising because the dog does like to come in and go in, come out and all the rest of it during my videos. But he does like people, so it's alright. But if that's all you learn a little bit about me, or you learn a little bit about visual schedules, or how I learn and cope with the disabilities I've got, then that's fine. I'm still grateful you watched the video. Thanks guys. Bye.